So, um, so Venom is a movie that came out. I wasn't looking forward to Venom for most of its marketing campaign. I thought it looked pretty boring and dull. But a few weeks before the movie came out, I started working at a movie theater where they played the trailer on repeat all day. And after about a week, I was successfully gaslit into being excited for the movie. And the day I went to go see it, I was more excited than I had been for any movie since I saw Infinity War. I have seen Venom 3 times. The first time I saw it, I really enjoyed it. I was okay with the first 30 minutes. I didn't love it, but it wasn't terrible. It was kind of boring, but not like awful. But once Venom showed up, I thought it was really funny and entertaining, and the action was pretty good, even though it's pretty poorly edited. And I almost teared up at the end when Venom says goodbye to Eddie because he thinks he's gonna die. After the movie was over, there was a standing ovation. There wasn't actually one. I mean, there should have been. I'm kind of upset there wasn't. The second time I saw it, I liked it about the same. The only difference is I hated the first 30 minutes. I was so incredibly bored until Venom showed up. But then he showed up and I thought it was fun. I didn't see the movie again until the Blu-ray release, and leading up to that, I had a lot of time to watch a lot of clips and think about it a lot, and I got really excited to see it again. This time, I watched it and I loved it. Like, I had always liked it, and I liked it a lot. But this time, I even liked the first 30 minutes before Venom showed up. They set up Eddie really well and his character arc, which isn't like, it's not some like really complex or nuanced character arc. His character arc is that, I need to stop saying character arc, but it's that he just apologizes. Like, he made a mistake, was selfish, and then he's like, sorry, whoops. And like, it's not winning any Oscars for character arc writing. But the way the movie's paced, which is poorly, it's a poorly paced film, but because of the way it's paced, that character arc actually feels pretty satisfying. Like, the movie feels so short because of the fact that the second act is one scene long, that, you know, him having a character arc in the next scene, it makes it feel really conclusive. And yeah, in some ways that's a negative towards the film because I'm saying it's poorly paced, and that's the only reason that this character arc actually feels like a decent character arc. But at the same time, I'm also saying that this character arc does feel pretty satisfying. Like, the scene when he apologizes to Anne, it's a good scene, and you're like, wow, Eddie's really changed as a character. I think it's good. Venom has an arc as well. He starts off, he's gonna like help Riot and the race of symbiotes, you know, take over Earth and eat everyone on Earth as well. And then by the end of the movie, he decides he's not gonna do that. He's gonna actually kill Riot and stop him. It doesn't feel as satisfying as Eddie's because we actually see Eddie be selfish. We don't see Venom be evil. He says some kind of like vague and creepy things, but he never like outright states that like, I'm gonna help Riot take over Earth. I guess that makes sense. Why would you say that? You know, that's not a thing you should tell people if you're going to take over Earth, you know. But at the same time, we as the audience, you know, should know so that when you decide, I'm not going to do that, we're like, cool. Instead of like, you were going to do that in the first place? When you rewatch it and with that in mind, you can see the change happening, you know. But it's just that, you know, it should be clear without having to rewatch it, especially because it's not like a reveal. It's just not well communicated that that's what his, you know, motivation is. And regardless, I just appreciate the fact that this movie, you know, even attempts to have character development. And I know that sounds like I'm setting the bar pretty low, and I am, very much so. But I just mean, you know, you don't really expect a movie about Venom who, like, has a big long tongue and eats people's heads, and like there's an original song by Eminem. You wouldn't expect that movie to have like wholesome character development. Like, Eddie's character, his arc is that he's not a jerk anymore and he's more considerate. Venom's arc is that he's not, he likes Eddie now. Like, that's not something you would expect from, you know. And that's part of the reason why I like this movie so much. It's not just a dumb action movie. It is a dumb action movie, but it's not just a dumb action movie. It's a dumb action movie with a pretty big heart. Like, Anne and Eddie are broken up, but they still care about each other, not because of like some romantic tension or like, you know, maybe we'll get back together. No, she just cares about him because she just does. And maybe they will get back together. You know, I'm fine with that as well. You know, they kind of set that up at the end, but it's not that without that they would hate each other. You know, it's not like, oh, I hate you, but I still kind of want to be with you. It's just, I'm with Dan and I like him, but I still care about you. And then there's Dan, who in a movie like this, you'd expect to be like a big jerk who like, is just completely one-dimensional, and like there'd be like a scene where like, Anne's about to be killed by Riot, and then, he runs away, and then Eddie saves her, and he's like, this guy really, he was a loser, huh? And then maybe like Dan would get killed by, Riot afterwards or something. But no, he's just a nice guy. Like that's like, they don't do that. It's just all of that small stuff that I think elevates it from being a dumb action movie to a kind of a cute dumb action movie. All right, I asked a bunch of people on Twitter to give me their thoughts of Venom, so I'm gonna read them out now. At EthanTR2 says, Venom hot. Well, okay. At That Guy of Place says, worst thing my ex did to me, but fun. Well, that doesn't answer my question. At Lelo High says, the film is alright, but I think the ending fight is horrible. Also, I don't find the main character to be very much likable. I actually disagree. I think the ending fight is better than most of the, sort of standard superhero third act CGI battles. And I know, like, it sounds like I'm some sort of, like, Venom apologist, and I am. It doesn't go on for too long, and they switch it up enough that it doesn't feel too repetitive. They start on the runway, and then they, move to next to the rockets, then they combine, and then they get separated from the suits, and so they're, fighting, Carlton and Eddie fighting, and then the fight's over pretty much. They kill Eddie, but then Venom saves him, and they have this really nice moment where, like, Eddie reaches his hand out, and then Venom's like, I love you, and then, like, they combine again, and they kill him. But yeah, normally I hate these kind of third act battles, and this has, like, all of the markers of them, bad CGI, but I just thought that this one was surprisingly enjoyable. At Joel Rat Resort says, it's a fun time with some bland cinematography, whack pacing, boring villain, and bad CG, but the brilliant chemistry between Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock and Tom Hardy as Venom is just beautiful, man. I agree with some of that and disagree with some of it, as, kind of how opinions work. So, as I already stated, the pacing is, like, really bad. The first act is, like, 30 or 40 minutes, and then the second act lasts one scene. It's, they have the car chase, and that's the entire second act. And then it's just straight into the third act. I don't agree that it has bland cinematography. I think it's actually a pretty nice-looking film. I think there's definitely some bad editing, especially in the fight scenes, but the way it was shot, I think it was actually pretty well shot. Boring villain. Carlton Drake, he's fine. Like, he's definitely not a good villain, but, like, he doesn't hinder my enjoyment of it at all, but he also doesn't improve it. Like, if he wasn't in the film, I would not, if they cut him out completely, I would not, it would not affect my enjoyment one way or another. I would not enjoy it more or less. It would just be like, this is a weird movie where there's no villain. I mean, I'm taking this too literally, but, you get my point. Bad CG, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, probably. Venom 2018 is not a masterpiece. There's a lot of bad editing and glaring pacing issues that hold it back from being anything above an objective 6 or 7 out of 10. But the film is perfect to me. This is weirdly sentimental for a movie about an alien goo monster, but here we are.